so excited to be back. And I'm so excited to be back with all of these lovely people. We are about to play episode 3 of 4 of Uncharted Worlds, Bound Together. Episode 3 of 4, we only have one more episode of this. It makes me sad. And I'm Jen. I'm your nervous GM. And I would love for all of you lovely people to go around and introduce, maybe give your name and the character that you're playing and the coolest piece of clothing your character has ever worn. Or at least the piece of clothing your character has liked the best. It's cool, relative term. I think we have a list if anybody's looking at it. Okay.
I believe I'm first. Hi, I am Evie. She, they. I use Ray as my character in this game. I play Ray. Ray is she, her. And I think that Ray's always wearing the white jacket, right? Anything and everything is a white jacket. I think the coolest thing Ray has ever worn, I can't actually tell you guys. Yeah, maybe at the end of the game. We'll see. Next.
Also, if you all are like, oh my god, you haven't talked about the sponsors, don't worry. I'll talk about them. You'll get to know who the fabulous people are that are sponsoring us. Wow, that's my favorite answer you could have possibly given. That's great. That's nice. All right, who's next?
Hi everybody, I am Ashley, she, her. I play Ariana, Ari Pixel. And Ari would say the coolest piece of clothing that she's ever worn would be everything, because she only wears cool things. So.
That tracks.
Hi, I'm Brithen. I go by he, him. I am playing Jasper Flynn, who also goes by he, him. Very similar to Ray. The coolest articles of clothing he probably wore while he was working for Warney, while he was participating in his alter ego, who we heard and talked about a little bit last time in the game.
We did, from the Streamin' Legion.
From the Streamin' Legion, Mika Angelo.
Might have been recognized.
Dun, dun, dun. He's very nervous right now. He is sweating bullets.
Oh boy, I guess that's me. Hello everybody, my name is Graham, or Graham Crackers, and tonight I have the delight of playing Riley Copperbottom, your commercial-oriented businessman, and he goes by him, as do I. And you know, the most interesting thing that Riley has worn is definitely his Journey Core jacket, which he has worn every single session, which is his custom-made Journey Core jacket with armored plating, jetpacks, and shielding for atmospheric survival. It's ready to go whenever.
I feel like Journey Core has to sell some of them too. Like that has to be Journey Core merch. Yeah.
I actually find it ironic, like maybe they don't sell it, but it's their clearly their most marketable item if they had, and they just don't.
That brings it to me. Ty, he, him, playing Orin, he, him, and I think if you asked Orin his most interesting item of clothing he ever wore, he would just point down to his boots, which it's like they just look like regular boots, but he'd go on to explain that, you know, they've been rebuilt and handed down, had to skip a generation here and there, but it's from at least 3 generations ago, but depending on whose feet actually fit into them. So he's very, you know, they're kind of a family heirloom at this point, and they're more replacement than boot, but you know, they still carry the spirit of Theseus, if we're gonna put it together that way. But I think that's what he would kind of say is his most interesting piece of clothing.
And deep literary reference too. Is that everybody? That's everybody, I think. So that means I'm going to say sponsors, and then we're going to have a wonderful recap. These lovely people who just introduced themselves are brought to you as part of a Nerdsmith production, and we have 3 amazing sponsors. 1, Die Hard Dice. Super cool, super awesome dice. Look at that. We have a model. We have a model die for Die Hard Dice. Die Hard Dice, so that your character won't die hard. Hero Forge, adore Hero Forge. Yeah, they're so fun, and I spend forever on their website. And I am fortunate to have a friend with a 3D printer, so I get to just buy the file. But I've seen like the color one that people buy, and it's so gorgeous if you buy it with. Oh, so cool. Amazing. I love them. And I started role playing back in the day when you just had to get like packets of things and hope that there was a female character that wasn't wearing like, a bikini. So times have changed. All right. And World Anvil, which is a set of world building tools that's going to help you create, organize, and store your world building. And anyone who's been a DM probably at some point has had that moment. Did I tell the Garam Masala story? I don't think I did. Oh, I did? You know the story. Okay, I'm going to tell it again in case I didn't tell it on stream because it's really cute. I was playing this game. I was running a game. I ran it for 3 sessions, and there was one character who I kept forgetting his name that I had given him. And so I looked on my counter, and there was a box of garam masala, so I named him Garam. And then I didn't forget his name again. But if I had World Anvil, I would not have to do that to begin with because I would have been able to store my stuff there. So, World Anvil. All right. Recap time.
It's me.
You got this. You got this.
I have been elected by the council to be the one that does the recap for today's episode. Alrighty. So last week we were just coming off of escaping from our little shenanigans, and where we did a jump that cut 2 weeks of our month's journey to our destination. We had a really fun close quarters where Riley and Ari bonded with some weapons training. Our close quarters last time was where we were getting closer, just really felt like we were all fighting more. It was great. If you can't fight with your loved ones, who can you fight with? Ari learns more about Jasper's time at Warney while he competed against Red, the AI, about trying to find different connections. Riley and Ray bond over medical usage of pesticides. My notes say bond over. Orin and Riley bond over games and optimism and hot aliens before it gets deep. Ray gets a cryptic message after we pass Spa, a small rundown station, before we hit Saguaro City, where many cacti were transferred from Saguaro National, which is like a giant hollowed out cactus full of huge floral fauna and water bears. Woo! The party split off. Jasper and Riley went to the memorabilia store of the Warney idols. Jasper is very, very uncomfortable, but ends up trading a rare sign card to get information about some of the going-ons of the smuggling. We find out that they may be delivering goods down on the ground floor of the planet, and the people down there will just definitely fight you. So we better be ready. The others, Orin and Ari go to the Tex-Mex restaurants, Mexicalifragilisticexpialidocious. I tried.
Yes.
I tried.
Well done. You got it. You got it.
Where they meet a girl who is looking for her brother Marcus, who seems to have got involved with the, what is that faction called? The Constellation Congregation.
You got it.
I got it. After giving poor, what was her name again? What was the character's name? It was
Annie.
Annie. After giving Annie a poor, hard time, the two of them get drunk. And then we moved over to Ray, who was checking on the health of the planet and seeing that the area that we were in seemed okay. Everyone seemed to have like healthcare. Everyone seemed pretty good. Everything was checking out. So went to the lounge and had a pretty intense conversation with her mom. Jasper and Riley ruined the economy by buying and hiking up the price for Millennium Falcon Legos. Let's see.
And caused a riot.
And caused a riot. Definitely caused a riot. Marcus, we saw Marcus on the surveillance cameras. We saw that 2 tardigrades were helping move him, take out his chip that his family had placed upon him, and disappeared after going down into the roots. As they were trying to figure out what to do, they noticed that one of the guys from the memorabilia store was staring down Jasper. So Riley created a big distraction with the Millennium Falcons as the party then ran to get down the elevators.
So we have, I think, Jasper, Riley, Oren, Jasper, Ari, and Oren are at the elevators, and Riley and Ray were a little bit behind. Okay. All right, well done. See, that was great. You did perfect, and your notes were wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna start out in the elevator, and in the cold, still water within Oren's helmet, there is silence, a tense silence. Our 2 little octopi creatures, if they could be said to have eyes, are averting their eyes from each other shyly. And finally, one looks at the other. Silence. More silence. I want a Millennium Falcon.
Oh God. What do
You hear
do with that?
You hear the rhythm of laughter, and this time it's not derisive at you, but it sure is derisive.
Sounds
All
like
right.
a problem for later. Ugh.
Inside the elevator, the elevator is a real contrast to the rest of Saguaro City, because Saguaro City is organic. And even though it is covered up with things like to keep, it from rotting and to keep your feet from sinking into cactus flesh, you feel the organicity of it. But this elevator, clearly not part of the cactus, clearly put in, sterile, white walls, a little too white, like just on the verge of hurting your eyes. So kept well clean, but probably would have been better if it wasn't kept well clean. The dissonance is visceral. It's like going from one world to another. But the cramped space feels familiar, and that familiarity feels comforting, and it reminds you of your ship. And when it reminds you of your ship, it also reminds you of a sense of home. And that might be a surprise to some of you, or some of you might take for granted that that is in fact what your ship feels like. But in the elevator, you remember that comfortable feeling of home. The buttons in front of you, instead of having numbers, have different colors and are arranged in a row and not a column, because of course they are. Which button do you push, or how do you figure out what button to push? I feel like this might be a Jasper task, but if you have someone else in mind, go on, Oren.
Yeah, Jasper loves puzzles, and to him, this would very much feel like a puzzle. So he's going to kind of look at them. Can you tell if they are in some sort of like rainbow order, or?
Doesn't seem to be.
How about alphabetical order of colors?
Doesn't seem to be. And you get a sense that it's not really a puzzle. It's just that's how they mark things.
Mm.
And Ty, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Everybody, please participate. I didn't mean to just put it on Jasper.
No, you're good.
Yeah. But this is Jasper's, like...
Yeah. He would probably pull, so he's going to pull out his watch that he has, and he's going to kind of try to scan like the buttons and like put it into the computer. He's like, this is either really old or really new, and if it's really old, it's going to be bad.
Oh my god, just pick one already.
He's like, okay, if I pick the wrong one, it's going to take more time.
What do we... I'm gonna just press one.
Okay. Jasper, I want you to roll with well, before you roll with interface, actually, Ariana, I just want you to roll 2d6.
Oh Lord. Okay. Do I say?
Yeah.
I rolled a 6 and a 1.
Okay. All right. So you don't mess it up, but you also don't help. Right? You hit a button and it doesn't seem to it's not going to really slow you down. Or
Yes.
anything you want to do.
Doesn't seem like it
Sorry.
really matters, so just everything's gonna be fine.
The elevator goes down a couple of floors, the doors being open, you just see a hallway, and then the doors being back closed again.
Does it do that thing where it glows on which floor it's on throughout all of the numbers by any chance?
Well, you know what floor it's on. Oh, I see, while you're going down. No.
Did it make a musical tone when she selected it?
It made a ding.
Bing? Okay.
All right, Jasper, why don't you roll with interface?
Well, luckily I rolled a 4 and a 6, so 12. Because I have a
Alright.
+2. I can.
Here's what you two things that you get from that 12. One is you figure out which button is the lowest. And two, the way to tell the difference between the buttons is the emotional sensation that you get when you touch it. It's a very strange thing, but you see just like a subroutine for some kind of mental connection when hitting the button.
Well, this is an interesting piece of technology. Better not have Ray touch it.
What does the lowest one feel like?
Just like hope.
Now Ray absolutely has to touch it.
That. Hope. That is an interesting feeling. One that I feel a lot when I'm with you guys. And he's gonna press it.
All right. The whir of the elevator gets deeper and deeper the farther down you go. You can sort of feel that moment that you go out from the narrowness of the cactus to the expansiveness of the root system. And you find yourself, as the door things open, in a room the size of a football field, and with faded white tiles, clearly not upkept. It sort of reminds you of the worst office job you've ever had. The lighting is just fluorescent adjacent. And there are a lot of abandoned objects in this room. There's a stack of cushy chairs that maybe were part of a restaurant at some point. There's a sign, like a neon sign that occasionally actually still lights up, that says dodgy debt divestments. We may be dodgy, but what else do you have to lose? And some boxes marked plum readers, crossed out with a big marker and defective written on them. And you get the sense that this is a place where abandoned things go to sit indefinitely. You can see through the winding, random seeming pathways that have built up around all of this junk, a big, dark opening. And you can actually see a couple of them, but one has a bit more of a trail getting to it. Clearly, people have moved things out of the way so that they can go down that hallway.
So, you said this felt like hope?
That's what the button felt like.
This is not, I'm not gonna lie, this room kind of sucks.
It could be irony. It might be a big word for you, but it just means it's the opposite.
Jasper. Well, this is hope.
Maybe it's the feeling of the things there. They want to leave here, so they hope to go somewhere else in the elevator.
Well, I'd hate to see what the room crap looks like because, my goodness. All right. Well, let's. I don't know what we're doing here. What are we doing here?
Well, we're looking for looking out for water bears. See what they're getting up to. We're also gonna see if we can find my brother. What was his name? Marcus. Yeah, remember he was all skinny and down here and stuff. So
The last that you were able to
this.
trace him, the last you were able to trace him with the camera was when he hit the bottom floor of the campus.
So none of the cameras like really showed this room.
Oh, doesn't seem like there are cameras in this room.
Nope. Tapped out.
Just hold up my phone to Jasper. It's okay. You're on camera still. You're gonna be fine.
Need to be on camera. I need you all to be on camera.
Turns his phone around.
There we go. I feel much better.
Do we need to stay here? I'm not feeling very.
Well, I'd say there's clearly one way a lot of people have been going. They cleared all the junk out of the way, and everything else here seems to be terrible. So why don't we go see what's at least of interest down this way and see why they've been moving boxes and stuff around.
Yeah, you first.
And it always. And he'll just start.
Where is he going?
Just you said there was a clear path that had been made by people pushing. He's just gonna go down that path to see what was worth moving all this stuff around for.
All right. At the end of that path is the opening to what looks like it might have been like a hollowed out route. One of the routes closest to the stem that was quite large, right? Large enough to be like the size of a classroom or at a school with funding, with that kind of room. I don't do feet, so that many feet by that many feet, people can fit in it. And you see that the cactus has continued to grow roots since that was hollowed out. So there are like fibrous, like long ropes from the top that are sort of dripping with water. And most of them are like along the side. Some of them have been like cut off, obviously, so people can get through. Some of them are persisting and still have to be walked around. But that's as far as you can see, because up at the top are light bulbs in little light bulb cages that are like the worst quality light bulbs, just like that low yellow light. Very, very, very old-timey light bulbs. You hear the little buzzing from the light bulbs, and they're just such poor light that you can't see very far down the hallway.
Is there any, like, you said it looks like it is about classroom sized. Are there any like places to sit or anything like to read or anything like that?
No. That was an arbitrary thing I chose because I don't know how to use measurements for space.
Just fire marshal rules. This is a 30-person room. That's how big it is.
I was almost like about the size of this room, and then I'm like, that's not going to help anybody. Well, it would help one person. That's not going to help anybody else. It's a good size. It's a good size tunnel. It smells earthy and wet.
I think this is for the tardigrade who don't need to see so well. This light is shit.
I thought our ship was bad.
Hey, don't you dare.
No, it's bad. mean, you do a great job with what you can. That's right. I'm sorry. You're very resourceful.
Well, let's see if we can salvage this day then, and I'll just keep walking.
While you're walking in this darkness, and sometimes there's a little bit of light, and sometimes one of the light bulbs has gone out, and sometimes they're flickering. There's the sound of like some of the drier earth falling off of the ceiling, kind of like a whisper, and the sound of drips echoing. We're going to do a really strange close quarters. Each of you can pick something that the group talks about and make your cramp quarters. Make your cramp quarters roll. Who would like to go first?
Yeah, you know, we were just talking about it. I think Oren's gonna talk to them about what they would like to see done with the ship then. Like what they think the ship needs. And that's a 9.
All right. So either one of you, Jasper or Ari, can ask a question that Oren will answer honestly. And we can play out the conversation.
So you think the ship? I thought the lighting was at least okay. What do you want? What does it need? What am I missing? I'm so used to traveling around in a shoebox with an engine strapped to it. Maybe I forget some of the niceties sometimes, and so you gotta tell me these things.
Oren, I love you. You're my friend. But we're still listening to Polka every 3 hours. The comms array is still playing Polka.
Listen, I had to break that off of another ship, install it onto our ship. I don't know where the Polka virus came from, but that is clearly a software issue, my friend.
You're putting it on me then.
I mean, you tried to put it on me. I swear to God, like, there's no hardware that would turn it to Polka. You know what I'm saying?
What's your favorite type of music?
Well, I think you've spied on me enough that you probably know that already, so...
That's true. There is a podcast that we've really been listening to. Maybe we'll have that be playing through the ship.
A podcast. No one wants to listen to a podcast. Just, why? You want to hear somebody ramble on for an hour about nothing? Well, just, I mean, you could. Why don't we just have you, talking the whole time? At least then we'll remember you're there. I mean, you probably could sit in front of a camera and talk for a while, couldn't you?
Jasper, what do we need to change this Polka? Because I don't care. I will make it my life's mission to find it.
Unfortunately, when we got the new comms array from the Macaronis, it seems that while everything else was highly updated, their comms array seemed to have a major bug. We just need a new updated one. Unfortunately, the comms array is of an old technology that I don't know about you, but old technology is way more confusing than it is now.
You're saying
one of the light bulbs like buzzes out when you say that.
you're saying a lot of things, and what I'm needing from you is just specifically what it is. Cliff Notes.
The Cliff Notes version.
You checked the drivers, right?
What's a driver?
You updated them? Oh my God. You know what? When we get back, I could probably fix this in like 5 minutes.
Things don't have drivers anymore. I think I read that in like a book once.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I'll run the check the drivers when we get back and see if there's something corrupted in there, or if there's, hell, I'll even go out there and see if maybe there's not just a little piece of metal that I didn't get quite secure, and I keep swapping it over to the same station or something. But I'll get that fixed. That I can take care of.
Ari, I'm gonna mail you the exact one I want.
All right, did you know about a podcast having anything to do with Oren?
I don't believe I do, because that doesn't seem like something that would interest me. I would feel like the podcast would be on and I would try to do anything else. So podcast, what? You said something about a podcast? Is that something that we could listen other than this godforsaken polka music? And what is it about, and would I even care?
Well, which podcast were you talking about, Jasper? There's like 8 billion out there now, so.
Jasper's gonna think about it, and he's like, I don't know. I just know I heard you and Riley talk about some video game podcast or something. He's definitely like swerving from the initial thing after the comeback about.
I think all of a sudden now I am very interested. I'm like, no, what? Now what podcast? We brought it up. You got to remember something about it. I mean, out of the 8 billion, you brought this one up. What stuck out about it?
Oh, the three of us, we play games. Jasper's just gonna look at you, and he's gonna look at Orin. He's gonna be like, yeah, and then he's gonna turn forward and keep walking.
Yeah.
Have Jasper roll again then. Jasper's turn for cramped quarters.
Ari's not letting that go now.
I rolled really bad. Rolled a 4.
Okay. Pick one of the two of your fellow cave dwellers at the moment, and describe what caused the newest hurt feelings or bad blood between you, which I feel like you're like
We already took care
kind
of.
of there. What more happens that really gets the bad blood going?
Oh, that's good. He's kind of swerving from the Orin thing. So, but no, I think that them talking poorly about the ship, which is Orin's like love project, probably hurt him more like than he was really letting on.
So what is Jasper, and maybe instead of a scene, if you don't want to add to it, what is Jasper thinking in his head?
He is definitely kind of realizing the hole that he started to dig himself into. And so he's like, in his head, he's like, if I walk faster, then maybe they will forget what he was talking about and they'll talk about something else. He's like, wow, I really messed that up with Orin. And oh, this is going to create some real interesting conversations with Ari later because she's not going to let this go. So what's something that Ari likes? And he's going to start maybe like rattling off things that he's heard Ray and Ari talk about. Like, oh yeah, did you pick up those petunias from the other planet that you guys were talking about? It's not just like, or the random flowers.
What the heck does Ari say?
I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, I got the petunias. Have you ever seen the pictures of them? Like, flowers are cool. You like flowers?
No. Yeah, flowers are really cool.
Well, I really all of a sudden like podcasts.
Jasper, I gotta give it to you. You are one of the great conversationalists of your time.
Let's have Ari make a roll.
2 of them? 2?
2d6.
Okay, let's see. 8.
All right. You're going to reveal the answer to a question about an aspect of yourself or your past. How does that come up, y'all? Who asks what?
I really I was thinking about it and like the flowers and the podcast, and you do seem really interested in about podcasts. But what's even more interesting about podcasts is your family.
Good save.
I mean, I feel like you have a pretty good idea.
I
Who they
don't.
are.
That'd be kind of fun to know, I guess.
No one
know.
asked you.
That's fair. I'll just be over here walking, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe go find a piece in the room to fix our ship. It's a great ship, Oren. I'm sorry. Just find something.
What piece of truth do you reveal?
I know that I'm hiding things from your family, but I don't know really why.
What now? I mean,
I'm gonna ignore that you're listening, Oren. I am having you do what you're doing because one, it's a lot of fun just fucking with them, really. But two, I think if they really find me, they're gonna have me go back.
We can't have that, can we?
I sure as hell don't want to, so if you can keep being good at what you're doing, we don't have to worry about that.
We should come up with something fun. Really send them on a goose chase.
I'm up for that. Maybe we should go and when we get back on the ship, we should talk about that while we're putting your puzzle together. I think that'd be really fun. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Because you're almost done with it looked like.
And he's gonna squint. He's like, yeah, I'm almost done with it. I should have been done with it a while ago.
Yeah, it did seem like you've been almost done with it for a while, huh?
Squints.
As you're talking, and as Oren is attempting to pretend that he's not hearing any of this, and it goes a little silent, the awkwardness of having a private conversation in front of another person, the strained feelings that have come up over the course of this walk, you realize two things. One is you haven't noticed that the light has turned a little bit blue. It's a little bit of like a bioluminescent glow way, way, way down on the other end, not wrapped around you, but way down on the far end of the tunnel that you're heading toward. And also that there is a clicking noise, high-pitched click-clack noise coming from a couple of different locations that's gotten louder and louder. And Oren, you're actually feeling the swish, swish, swish of the water in your helmet.
What are they saying? He says, no, you guys help me out here.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Really interesting. There's a lot up there. Just a lot. Interesting. Yeah. Good luck.
What the fuck? Okay. Mr. gonna look around and see if he can spot any little octopi eyes poking out and clicking and stuff.
Go ahead and roll assessment. And let's see. Hey, y'all. It's a roll with a stat. Roll assessment with, I'd say you want metal to stay sort of calm in the midst of swishing water on your head, or expertise for cleverness?
Let's do. I don't think he's worried about staying calm because he's just not gonna. So we're gonna do expertise because he's dealt a lot with these Nekatiri. Who doesn't matter? It's 2 1s and a plus don't matter.
Oh my goodness. You're not really able to get the exact location of anything, but you, in that way that you can sort of feel the presence of things in a room, even in the pitch dark, can tell that there are dozens and dozens of beings somewhere down the hall in front of you around that bioluminescence. And you cannot tell whether they are friend or foe.
Yeah, it's a lot of clicking and stuff. I don't think if I maybe we wait for the others before we go down any further and just kind of hang out in here and just kind of make sure there's all of us, because at least we'll have another stunt gun, maybe whatever Riley's hiding underneath that coat of his, and we'll just kind of maybe stay here for a second. What do you guys think?
I think waiting for the others is a good idea.
I mean, okay, fine.
Yeah, good. All right.
I know you're good in a fight, Ari, but I have noodles.
I mean,
Noodle-eyes.
it's just kind of like I want to, but you guys, I should probably stay and keep you guys safe.
Listen, right now you're the real person inside of a Muppet sitcom. We got nothing to offer for this, so we're gonna wait for some other people, all right?
Wow, this is a new look for you, Orin, being forceful. Okay.
Yeah, totally. Just forceful. That's what it is. It's not.
That's fine. We'll go with this. I'll stay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
2 Muppets and a real person stand in a dark hallway. The sound of dripping and disconcerting sound of clicks surrounding you. And you wait. And you wait. And you wait. Riley, Raylan, I believe last we checked in, you were fleeing the crowd.
Yeah, I think I had a minor injury.
Yes. And heading toward the elevator?
Yes.
Right.
And the person that we were trying to get away from Jasper couldn't be found.
So as you're running, you notice change in tone in the sound of the crowd behind you. It sounds, it's more like a change in feel, like the air is yelling, or like your mind is yelling. And you see a number of human guards and tardigrades running past you toward where that sound is. And as the tardigrades run past you, you feel a spike of fear. You are
It's fine.
yards of...
Right? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
As you say that, the blast of a laser gun shoots past your ear. And you look up and you see that some of the people running in your direction are starting to fire on some of the tardigrades in front of you as the tardigrades turn around. And when one tardigrade hits the ground, you see another stare into the eyes of the one that shot. And the one that shot curls into a ball and drops his gun and cries. The elevator is yards away.
have I made it to the elevator? Because I'd gone back to the ship and then I've come back.
That's
And my
right, that's right.
timing is that I'm returning at the same time as
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'd said, hey, wouldn't it be neat if the two of you met up on the way to the elevator?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
am I here just in time to see chaos and scariness?
Of course. Yeah.
Awesome. I think that Ray pauses. It's like been running, pauses, watches that, runs forward, grabs Riley's arm and just yanks him back towards the elevator and is like, nope, we're out of here.
As Riley's running, he's just like, shit. Just gets grabbed.
You run past, and the elevator is near the docks, and there is just chaos happening at the docks. You run and get into the elevator just in time as another like plasma shot from a laser gun. I don't know if plasma and laser are the same thing, guys, but it is in this world. Goes past you, dive into the elevator, and the doors close with a bing that is jarringly normal compared to what's going on out there. And there's a rainbow of buttons in front of you.
Yeah, so you said that they are horizontal instead of vertical?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that without thinking, because we're in a panic situation, we get in, Ray looks, glances over at Riley, and then just pushes the one at the end.
Right. Roll 2d6.
I rolled 8 on the dice.
Okay. The feeling you get when you roll that is comfort. And the elevator goes down and down and down and down. And there's a bing and the doors open. And what you see is, it's sort of like being on the inside of a jack-o'-lantern. It's a spacious, round area with little like Pueblo-like homes carved into the side of it, and strings of root that hang out in various ways, various places. And for now, it seems like the chaos up above has not impacted this place. You see a couple of, young people, like children in school uniforms, walking down a pathway. The pathways seem like to have been like sort of almost zigzagged and randomly put in places where there was enough cactus material. You see a tardigrade who seems to be fixing a tile on the top of one of these structures. You notice that there are beautiful relief carvings on the outside of all of them. Well, some of them are beautiful, and some of them are like political slogans that have been like crossed out and like a different one written underneath it. Some of them are like not appropriate words to be on a wall that the children are walking past. Someone has not gotten to wiping that off. And at the very, 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 very end of the spacious cavern, very much like the size of a football field, because that's the one measurement I know, y'all. Very much the size of a football field. There is an opening, a round cave, as if a route had been tunneled out.
Is there a close doors button?
The doors will close if you wait long enough, and you notice that because the doors start to close.
Yeah, I think that Ray has kind of like pushed back against the wall and gone, okay, that was unexpected.
Yeah, wrong floor.
Not what I'm talking about. All right, sorry. I was a little bit in rush there. That wasn't the smartest. Hold on. And then Ray's gonna kneel down at the buttons, and I'm gonna inspect them to see, aside from the one I touched, if there are fresh finger oils on any of them.
Okay. And I will give you expertise for that if you want, because you are medical professionals, so you're familiar with finger oils. I
thought you were gonna say you're just familiar with Oren's fingerprints.
You know what? No. You know what? You get a +1 for that. Assessment plus expertise +1.
Expertise. Ooh, that still only gets me to a 9.
Okay.
Riley.
Assist.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Do you
can.
got any
How
dust or something?
how are you going to get involved?
Ooh, you said that these buttons are kind of emotionally charged. Do you get that emotional feeling as you hover over them, or is it when you actually make contact?
You can hover over them and feel a little bit.
Okay. So I think that's how I'm going to help. Is I know Raylan's not a very emotionally charged person currently. So I might hover my hands over them and just kind of be like, it's not that one, not that one, not that one.
All right. It's sort of like you're leading with your heart
Yeah.
to find the right thing. So roll roll with influence.
All right. That is a 6 and a 5 plus a 2, so a 13.
Fuck. Okay. Hell yeah. Your heart feels pulled. Thinking about how you feel about Ray and Oren's relationship and what happened on the ship on the way here and this beautiful dinner that you created, you feel hope. And you know that has to be the right one. And Ray, you're hovering over that one anyway, because that's where you think that you see that fingerprint. Riley, just push.
Patty kick that right into the button. Just bop.
Yep. And down the elevator goes one more floor.
Wait,
You're
okay.
being-
Riley, did you push my hand into the button?
Yeah.
Okay. So then as Ray gets that jolt of hope, I think you see again, Ray just kind of like almost takes a knee, like leans against the wall with a squat. And now that you're in close quarters, you can also catch there's still alcohol on her breath. And like she's just a little bit like off balance.
Yeah. If there is like one sentence that goes through Ray's head or one phrase, what is it?
Could I have this?
The elevator bings, the doors open, and you see the vast room, also a football field size, because of course, full of abandoned objects, unwanted, unused. Ray, with that thought in your heart, and both of you with that feeling of hope, and you see in front of you a long, dark cave.
So, how you feeling there, sport?
Why'd you do that?
What?
You pushed me into the button.
I helped you press the button you were gonna press.
We should get going. They have a head start on us. They clearly didn't wait.
I mean, you know, bravery often rewards the foolhardy. I think the saying is.
It's a wrong saying. And I'm just looking forward.
Awesome. You walk into the sickly yellow light, in and out of shadow, in and out of darkness. Your shoes are gonna be muddy. You're just gonna be muddy. Oren, your boots, they are muddy. You wind your way around roots, and at times are too close for comfort. And whichever one of you would like to go first, roll cramped quarters.
Oh, I rolled a
Once.
6 and a 5.
Oh my gosh! Another positive interaction?
What is happening? How are we
What is
gonna be
that?
best friends? This is stupid.
I know, right? We're supposed to be enemies.
We started this was like, okay, there needs to be somebody inside the crew that don't like each other. Ray and Riley. Nope.
No. You guys
Jasper
really
and
are
Oren.
best friends.
So how does that happen? Show us how this happens.
I don't know. I think that maybe Riley, are you surprisingly competent? in this moment
What?
at being able to get through these areas. Like maybe you're able to know when something is like, ooh, don't touch those containers. Those ones.
Yeah, I would say
Corrosive.
this is, out of all the places Riley could be competent, a cargo bay is probably the right place for Riley.
A sort of
with,
junkyard
inventory.
cargo bay. Yeah.
So I think Riley is definitely in his element. You know, has definitely moved like shipment loads that were going to sit for weeks and months until an invoice was paid.
You're comfortable here. There's a sense of comfort.
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
think
What do you
like,
say?
yeah, I just sort of follow your lead because it becomes pretty evident pretty fast that you know what the hell you're doing, and I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, what's really interesting about in warehouses is actually, on a financial spreadsheet, they are a sunk cost because you have to pay to hold the cargo. So your goal is to liquidate cargo before it either A, expires, or B, if it doesn't have an expiry date, before it's invalid. And I will point to one of the boxes and be like, those, donezo, couldn't sell them. You're not going to make a profit off it. Like, those are going to sit here until this planet falls out of orbit. I don't know when that'll happen, but it'll probably happen sometime. I don't understand planets, but more
Oh,
important.
that's why they don't like to keep ammunition in the cargo then. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, because gunpowder does fail to light the longer it stays sitting. Especially if you are going to have it in a damp area.
Is that true for electronic?
Like electronic weapons, or
Electronic warheads.
I'm gonna make a dice roll right quick.
With expertise, and then we'll make something up.
All right, it's a 5 and a 1 plus 2, so 7, 6, 7, 8.
You kind of think so. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
it makes sense to me. I mean, when you think about it, everything has a firing mechanism that has an ignition. All the loose wires there eventually are going to get frayed or get worn out or not carry a charge.
Oh. So you can't
The
just
negative
recycle it or
result of
hold
that
on.
roll is the negative result of that roll is now you're committed to that answer if you are ever in that situation.
Oh, absolutely. But I all right. So I guess my cramped quarters. Let's go. That's 5. Let's go.
Ooh, okay. While Ray is starting to feel more bonded to you, describe what causes the hurt feelings or bad blood between the two of you after you start feeling close. You're entering this cave. You're feeling as close as you've ever been. What the hell happened?
Ooh. So Riley is gonna look at Raylan and offer, his best like friendly smile, which is half facetious, half like genuine. It's somewhere in the middle, and just kind of goes, so why did you and Orin break up?
Instant. All the softness gone. Instant. Barely have finished your sentence, and Ray's just like speeds up a little bit and pushes forward and goes, if that is information for you to know, he would have told you, as I understand the two of you are best friends.
I mean, that assumes that he knows.
Why wouldn't he know? He was involved.
I mean, sometimes guys can be dumb. Sometimes we don't always have the answers even when it's told to our face.
Ray squints at you.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's clear he still likes you.
That's a bad
Otherwise,
idea.
he wouldn't have set up that date.
What date? What are you talking about? No. That was a dinner. No. And I think Ray stops and turns
Just
and
start
like
walking.
no, I think Ray stops, like she had kind of pushed in front. I think she stops and turns and blocks the passageway that we're currently in as best as she can and goes, "What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about?
That wasn't a date.
Was it?
That can't have been a date.
Why
That's
not?
not it's not okay if it was."
why is it not okay?
Kitty doesn't think it's okay either.
Yeah, sorry. I think Ray just like stares you down.
I mean, all I'm saying is, from a third party that's, not really invested in the success of this at all, it's clear that you are hyper-fixated on Orin, and Orin keeps looking at you. I think you should just give it another try, but that's on you. But by the way, we need to take a right up here.
Yeah, I think you've like pushed past Ray, and she's still just standing there, like takes a big breath.
And much in the theme of the previous group walking through this tunnel, you walk in awkward silence until you start to begin to hear clicking and see that bioluminescent look in front of you. And you see the group standing there, also awkwardly silent.
I think as we come up and it's so quiet, like they're not talking, Ray is going to turn to Riley and be like, in case like there's some reason to be silent. And she goes up and like gets visual contact with the other three and just real quietly asks, do we have to be quiet?
Probably. Well, this clicking sounds like Nekatiti, so there might be something observing and talking, so I'm not positive whether or not they can see us or if they can hear us, but they can hear each other because they're talking, so something's listening.
I'd be like, Jesus, where the fuck did you come from? Oh my god.
The elevator.
Well, welcome to luxury, whatever this is.
A warehouse. Oh, that is a good name for a warehouse, though. Luxury warehouse. I bet
Sounds like
people would
a
pay extra money for that.
dance club warehouse combination.
Another $1 million idea.
All right, guys. As much as I'd love to like brainstorm names for this place, can we figure out what the fuck is going on here?
So
Where
none
are
of you
we?
know what's happening? None of you know what's going on here?
Thinking back at the warehouse, as we're walking by Jen, did any seem like they would have been moved to cover a hidden passageway out of that giant football
Oh,
themed room?
what a cool question. Why don't you roll, roll assessment, and with expertise.
All right. 6 and a 2 plus 1 for a 9.
You've gone past the warehouse for a while. You're in the muddy cave, but like something was sort of lingering in the back of your mind that you sort of noticed but didn't process for a while, and that is there were some open boxes as you walked past, and now your mind like sort of puts together. They were all marked with some kind of medical label. Someone has taken whatever medical supplies have been stored in this warehouse. Either taken them up the elevator or taken them down the tunnel.
So, it just occurs to me, I've been thinking about this for a while. Did any of you else notice that the medical supply crates back in the river open and have been absconded with? I wasn't going to say anything, but, for a place up above that has no issues, why would someone need medical supplies? Or where would they go? Would they go up or would they go down? Weird.
Oh my god, I can do visual inventory now.
I'm looking right at Ray, like...
I didn't notice the crates. Do you know, can you describe what they had for their symbol?
Am I?
I mean, what would be the equivalent of Red Cross in this period of time?
Okay, so there
What do you
wasn't
think?
like it wasn't
let's
it wasn't like
figure
a
out what it was.
pharmaceutical. But it's not like a
Well,
pharmaceutical labeling or
like a
something like that.
pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
No. What would be the equivalent of a Red Cross at this point?
A red hexagon.
Red hexagon.
A gold hexagon.
Ooh.
A gold hexagon. I like red hexagon because you can call it red hex.
Oh, okay, red hex is better.
Red hex. Yeah. Someone has been taking red hex supplies and taking them somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't like a company. They were like red hex, you know, the traditional like supply crates. Another question: do Necritini get sick?
Yes. I mean, they're
stay
biological
here.
creatures.
Don't move. I'm gonna scoot forward past where anybody else has stepped and walked, and I'm gonna look on the ground, and I'm gonna see if I can make out signs of passage. Does it look like there's scraping marks where crates have been being carried? Does it look like there's tiny little feet prints? Does it look like there's wheels? Does it look like can I in any way, shape, or form determine what kind of traffic comes through here?
Roll assessment. This feels like plus expertise. This is cleverness.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's a 9, 10.
Okay. Two things. Definitely the dragging of something. Also, I don't know if we've described it entirely, but Nekutiti are these little octopi little guys, but they live in crab-shaped armor. And you can see the little pokey holes. And you can hear humming. Like a humming that makes you feel good coming from down the hall now that you're a little bit closer to that bioluminescence.
Okay.
Oh, damn it. Do I recognize this kind of humming?
You're not close enough.
Well, yeah, you don't hear it yet.
Okay.
Ray has moved forward and is like crouched down and kind of attending, kind of stops and listens, looks over at the group and goes like this to like stay. And then creeps further forward to see if there's like a visual I can get.
Yeah.
Just careful peek.
What
She
you
wants us to follow in
see-
5 minutes. No, just kidding.
Roll face adversity, and I'd say you could roll with metal or physique.
Okay. That is 8, 9, 10.
Okay. So you're able to sneak up quietly, and there's an opening you see on one side of the cavern. And actually, you start to see like there are openings on each side, many of them. Just went from nothing to opening, and it almost feels like the way that it's situated and the way that you look in and you see like other openings that are curved. It's almost like a honeycomb. It's not literally a honeycomb, not giant bees in this story. That's some other stories that I tell. But it looks like a honeycomb. And what you see is like a, oh shoot, what are the tables that people lie down on when they're in doctor's offices? I lost the
A
word.
gurney?
A
An
gurney.
exam table?
Yeah,
or...
like an exam table, more like an
Okay.
exam table. And you see someone lying on the exam table, a human, and you see 3 tardigrades standing around. And it's from them that the luminescence is happening. They're humming, and that humming gives you a sense of great well-being and seems to also be producing this light. And you feel like just a sense of well-being. And you notice the clicking, where the clicking is coming from. If you look at the person lying on the gurney, exam table, whichever, the gurney table, you can see that part of their face is crystalline. And the Nekatiti is tap, 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 tapping pieces of it away, chipping it away. The person does not seem to be in pain in any way. Tap, tap, tapping it away.
I think because Ray is still intoxicated, she jumps up, turns around, runs back to the group, grabs Orin by his arm and says, "We can fix you," and just yanks him all the way down the hall.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, God damn it. Why don't we keep it a little quiet?
No,
What do you mean
you've been
oh,
yanked into the
Jesus,
room.
what?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I have you, Ray?
I didn't
Can
know
I have you roll?
fixing.
Can I have
Sorry,
you roll
what?
2d6? I want to see how loud you were.
For me? Oh yeah, she was
Yeah.
not trying. I mean, I rolled a 9.
All right. And Riley, what were you saying?
Oh, just Ariana and Jasper were like, I didn't know he needed fixing.
No, literally, we're like, what fixing?
We can fix you.
He's a bit of a fixer-upper.
always have been.
He's got a few flaws.
Ray, where do you take
Takes
Orin?
one to build one.
I take him straight into the room, into this exam room.
Okay.
I just go straight in.
So, Orin, you see.
I mean, come on, we know universally Nikatiki are sorry, the cat is throwing a fit. We know universally that the Nikatiki are harmless. They are adorable. They are just taking over ships, but just to be holes in them, they like really don't do any real problems. And there is this like medical procedure happening.
Right.
I view this and I'm like, oh, cool, Dr. Nekatiki. I need that. And so I'm just hauling Orin bodily into this room.
Now, seeing this, are they chipping away? Is there any organic growth coming back, or are they just hollowing this person out?
Oh, I'd love for you to do an assessment.
Okay.
Goodness, what would it be? Assessment with metal. This is emotional for you.
Yeah,
So this is about how calm you stay.
that's a 5.
Okay. You can't tell. You can't tell. And as you stand there, this is not true. Rolling that low, I will reveal facts you probably wish were not true.
Oh, good.
As the noise of Ray dragging you into the room happens, someone walks through the door, and you can almost hear, like, what's going on out there? What is happening? And someone in a white coat comes through the door. And you look at the white coat, and for a second, your mind doesn't register what you're seeing. It's Ray. And we'll go to break now.
Ray's an Andrew?
Hey, everybody. I am so excited to see what's going to happen right now in this game as we have Ray, Orin in tow, in the room with the exam table and the 3 water bears and the little Nekatisi, and Ray standing on the other side looking dumbfounded.
When Ray comes in with Orin and then Ray walks out, Ray freezes. It drops Orin and starts looking around. Ray,
Who the hell are you? And that's
We're not
what the 3
supposed
of
to
you in the
be
hallway
here.
hear this. Not supposed to be. What? Who are not supposed to be here? I'm supposed. But this is.
you're supposed to be on Persephone.
You said that we hear this?
Oh yeah, you hear
I'm
the shouting.
booking it. But while I'm booking it, just in case, I'm like, you guys, maybe, I don't know if this, hold on. And I throw Red back to Jasper. Listen to him. And I'm running.
Nice.
Was he talking to
Okay.
me? Am I listening to you, or are you listening to me?
Figure it out.
The second
I'm gonna lead
beat,
you to that. I'm gonna go check this out.
the second beat here in the room before everyone else shows up, and right as everyone shows up, is Ray, having had this exchange with Raylan, now looks over at Orin. There's just such a pained look on her face, looking back and forth from one to the other.
It's not. Look, I was that.
What did you do, Orin?
What did I do? What?
What did you do? This is disgusting.
What did you do? What did you...
No.
What? What? What?
I just, you just obviously you made some kind of simulacrum. Like what is this?
No, Ray, that's not what this is. You're supposed to be on Persephone in the cosmetic transference program. Why are you here?
How do you know that?
That's a great question. I think that everybody would like the answer to right fucking now. Also, what the fuck? Who the fuck? Why the fuck? The fuck?
Riley? Ari? What? And Jasper stayed behind, right?
Jasper would be coming up really slowly.
Okay. What? You're here too? What is going on? What is going on?
Tracking
I
this.
want answers.
There you go.
She glances down at the person on the table. She goes, "Okay then, who are you with?"
Journey Core?
Who?
Journey Core, obviously.
What kind of missing people are you tracking?
Oh, well, some people got smuggled in here. Some people went missing.
Marcus? But also, what the hell are you doing here? What the hell do you mean by you should be who the fuck are you? If you're you and you're not you, then who the fuck are you and who the fuck are you? And who the
I was on Persephone. I was. And then I got involved in helping people in a different way, and in a way that's a little needing to be hidden from powerful cult-like influences. So
all right,
I'll
so that
stop
tracks.
over here.
That makes sense. You did it because okay, yep,
What?
makes sense.
So is
I
that
wanted to-
Marcus?
Marcus is in a different room. I don't know. I guess I've decided to trust you. Yes, Marcus is in another room. Why do you know Marcus? How do you know Marcus?
Because Annie sent us.
Annie sent you.
Yeah, sister.
And she goes pale.
So they tracked you down, and we just did. Luckily, we haven't said anything to Annie, so.
It's true, unless they were following us, which now would be a really convenient time. And I'm gonna turn around, make sure no one's following, then turn back and go for someone to follow us.
There's nobody in the hallway. But as you turn, you do start to feel the earth shake a little bit, and you hear like a muffled exploding sounds on the roof. And
Also,
some dirt falls.
there's kind of a riot war thing going on. Totally unrelated.
This is so like all of you. This is so everywhere you go, everything. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. That life. I remember that life. I tried to leave that. I left that life. Okay. All right. What? So you led the cult here.
No.
Ari is like off in the corner and is looking at both Rays and really kind of like trying to assess, and also you might be able to see like there's a little sense of hurt on her face because she's realizing that she was being lied to. And now and also that she couldn't tell that one of her good friends was maybe not her good friend. So I'm gonna just say something too.
My poor wife heard me yelling and got scared.
I'm just gonna say something too, and just to see, but at this time also probably may think that they're both gonna react, but I'm gonna say something just to see if one reacts more than the other. And I'm just gonna casually say, I need to see a doctor.
Okay, so I'm gonna take just for a second, because Jen, you're not clued in on this. I'm so sorry. So Ray turns to you with a concerned look, but then looks conflicted.
Ray says, med student.
Other Ray says pre-med.
That's what I meant. Pre-med.
Yeah. And then says something like, this is probably a bad time for that.
Okay.
Shaking, explosion, more dirt falling out. Now the tardigrades are starting to run into the room and pour out into the hall, carrying people, most of them unconscious, various parts of their body crystallized.
All right, fuck it. We don't have time for questions. Let's just help you get this shit moving. You need these people moved, right? We're bodies. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get. We can use the ship. We can just go.
But before we go through that chaos, I'm sorry, I just need to pinpoint really quick. The one Ray that made the conflicted look, was that the one that is new?
The new Ray immediately said pre-med. Like an impulse.
Reflexively.
Like reflexively.
Yeah.
Except that I got them wrong.
The Ray that you've been with, wearing the coat that you recognize, because we're both in white coats, this is great, but wearing the coat that you recognize from earlier today, looked at you with an urge, but then got conflicted and froze. The other one said pre-med, and this is a bad time for that.
Okay.
We have to get out of here now. Okay, and there's Nekutiti are just starting to scramble along the walls and on the ground, and you hear almost like an army of clicking, it's almost like a swarm of grasshoppers or something, all the sound of clicking that's going down the hallway. Also like rats fleeing a flood, right? And more earth is starting to fall, and now you're starting to see sunlight.
Ooh.
Breaking through, and people are rushing. What do you do?
I'm gonna pull out my shotgun.
Go.
Okay,
Jasper's gonna run in and be like, why are there two this is for later. And he's gonna...
Someone just shoves a body in your hands. Says, out, go on, now.
But my noodles! And he starts running.
My Ray starts to run as well. And Riley, looking at where the sun is peeking through, you see Annie, arms now bared, both of them crystalline, pointing a laser gun at you and smiling.
My Ray has not left. Shooed everybody, turned around, saw Riley not fucking leave like he was told to leave, and turns around and just kind of looks at Anne jump down, looks back behind her again real quick, watching Orin and Raylan and Ariana and Jasper sort of going out in the flood of people, takes a big breath and goes, I can't have it, and pulls out the little knife that she keeps with her and goes and stands in front of Riley.
No.
Two more people.
Go. You go. I've got a gun. You've got a scalpel. You go, they're gonna need you. They don't need me right now.
I turn to you and I go, I'm not a doctor. And this scalpel goes chink, 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 and turns into a giant sword.
Hell yeah.
Well, you're not gonna fight them alone. So Jen, I would like to do a move. So given that this is we have a warehouse facility down the road, or down the way, and we've worked very closely, me and Raylan, in the chemistry station in the workshops. So I think at this point, could I make a pitch that there may be something that's explosive here that I would recognize, to try recklessness?
Okay, all right, yes, absolutely. And I will say, as you're doing that, 3 or 4 more people are dropping through that hole in the ceiling. What might be explosive? What might be explosive in a medical situation? I think.
Oxygen tanks? No.
Yeah, they might have some oxygen tanks. They might have...
Yeah. I would say in each room, there's like a little cluster of oxygen tanks that you can see.
Okay, so with recklessness, it's when I make a needlessly risky move. When the odds are 1,000,000 to 1, I roll a 1d6 instead of make a roll. On a 4, 5, or 6, the move is a fantastically lucky success. On a 1, 2, or 3, the move is a spectacularly awful failure with harsh consequences. But this is, it's Riley we're talking about. That's absolutely on brand. So Riley is gonna look at Raylan and go, there was a reason I knew I liked you better, and I'm gonna grab the oxygen tank and throw it and shoot it with the shotgun to try and blow a hole and drop Annie and all the other people above onto the floor.
Hell yeah. Okay. Roll your d6.
That is
Would you like
a
a drum?
5.
Yeah! All right. A explosion. First in the room where you threw it, closest to Annie. You can't even see what happens to her because of all the earth that's flying around. But these are honeycombs. These are honeycomb rooms. The explosion happens in one room, and then another, and then another, and then another, and then another. And the entire area begins to fall with one path to get out. And Annie and Annie's cohort, somewhere under all that, are probably not doing so good.
I think we should go. I'm just gonna grab Raylan by the wrist and just go. Just book.
Raylan has been using the sword to keep any of the larger pieces from bonking you in the head, and then you grab their arm and they go, and their sword is flailing behind them a little bit.
It's the same repeat scene of when Riley was shot at earlier in the scene. Shit, just sprinting.
When you get to the warehouse, everyone, there are roughly 100 people milling about, trying to decide who's going to get into the elevator. And Ray is there, hustling people into the elevator, doing the best that she can, and pointing to the button. And one of...
when we come on scene, I think that seeing that, I'm going to shout, Ray, no! It's not safe up there! There's an
What's going on
alternative
up there?
route. We need to find the other way.
Alternative route. Okay, another way to get up there. We're trying to get to the docks. Trying to get to the docks. I don't know. I don't know another way. I don't know another way except to go up this way to get all the way to the docks.
I'm gonna turn to Riley and Jasper and be like, there was the other route.
Yeah, through the base level, on the ground level, all the way down.
On the ground level, all the way down. Okay. All right. Okay. Did you have any information about where it was?
I looked at Jasper because that looks like the thing that Jasper would have remembered.
Yeah, Jasper's gonna just pull up his computer really quickly, and he's just really quickly putting in numbers, putting in through the cameras, trying to see if he can hack into a map of the area to pinpoint where the cameras were facing into that sort of zone.
Yeah. Okay. Roll assessment. Roll. Access with interface or assessment. Doesn't really matter.
I rolled a 7 plus, you said interface?
Yeah.
2, so 9.
Okay. You're able to see not just where the cameras are, but the dark spaces, the spaces where the cameras aren't pointing, which tells you how to get up. It just doesn't tell you what it's going to be like when you get there.
I can get us there. I just don't know what it's like up there. We have to be on guard.
I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm just gonna be like, let's go. I got this. Let's go. Like, I'm gonna take out like my scatter shot and just like get ready to start shooting at stuff if I need to.
There's a massive noise as people start to try to move crates away from a wall that, as they move it, you see has an opening, narrower than the other one, but enough of an opening. And run down that way with Jasper in the front because you're leading the way. Where is everybody else in this crowd of people?
I'll take up the rear.
I'm standing at the sort of like, so like in this room, there's that space that would be coming into this room. I'm going to stand up there a little bit to anything that's coming in, be able to block it, make contact with it, prevent it.
All right. Everybody else?
Real quick, were there any like gurneys, like anything with wheels that we're rolling patients on?
People are carrying them.
Carrying them? Okay.
Because the ground in that tunnel is not very gurney friendly.
That makes sense. Okay. All right, so in that case, let's see. You said Jasper, you're out in front. I'm going to do a quick. It's called upgrade. I can patch up and add either a weapon, vehicle, or armor and upgrade its class by 1. And so I'm just gonna add armor to your not armor. So basically,
And you're doing this while you're running?
Yep, while I'm running. And then I'm gonna.
Okay. I'm gonna say that you have the condition clumsy, so that's a -1 on this roll.
Sure. See, this is a skill that I have. What should I?
What's the skill? Tell me the skill.
It's called upgrade.
Read the skill. Yeah, read me the skill.
Upgrade. Your patch up can very temporarily add up to 1 additional upgrade to a weapon or vehicle, or briefly increasing it. Oh, it doesn't say armor. Never mind. What's your weapon, Jasper?
I have a stun baton and I have a scope rifle. So he probably has the scope rifle like set up, but he's got a stun baton in his hand.
Okay. Oh, I could give your rifle spray so it goes out in a cone and turns it more into a shotgun for this, unless you want to go, because that seems like it'd be more.
That's sick. I'm like, that sounds great. That sounds cool.
The rule doesn't say whether you roll, right?
It doesn't, no.
Okay, and I agree
patch
that
up
that's
is a
sick,
move.
so I'm gonna say patch up is a move. Does it say patch up?
It says your patch up can, so
Okay.
It does say
Go
patch
ahead
up.
and
so
roll.
it'd be plus
Go
6
ahead and
for this.
roll, and it's at a -1 because you're trying to upgrade a weapon while you're running.
Okay. Okay, that's 12.
Okay. Describe to us this genius move of upgrading this weapon while you are running. And I also want to know which Ray, if not both, see you do this.
So as he's going, Jasper, you feel like I feel like you have it like on your back. You just feel he goes up and as he's running, he unscrews the whole barrel and so takes it off. And I'm like, what the hell's he doing? And then I see he'll reach back down on his tools and he has 2 pipes. And as he's running, he pulls out his little handle, lifts, and then puts it on there. And then he realizes and puts on a 3rd one to make it fit just right. And a little jab in and screws the whole thing on. All right, it's a shotgun now.
Jasper's running. He's like, how are you multitasking? I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Multitasking is life when you're the mechanic.
Who sees this amongst the 2 Rays?
I think that my Ray has positioned herself as the rear defender, stalwart line of defense. And even though she looks over her shoulder to look at the group, she just sees Orin fading into the distance down the tunnel and doesn't get to see any of the things that are happening. I think the other Ray, your Ray, I think is running with the people, with the patients, kind of running with them, getting them to follow her, pushing them along. So I think that Ray is going to have eyes on Orin.
All right. You go through twists and turns and you feel the tunnel going upward. And by the time you get to the level that the docks are, Jasper's not the only one who's out of breath. This is hard. The tardigrades seem to be doing a better job, and there are lots of times when the tardigrades will take one of the bodies and hold them in order to run. And there's a couple of times when they kind of look at Jasper and go, as Jasper is out of breath. offering a ride.
They would never let me live it down if I took a ride. I gotta keep going. They'll never let me live it down.
At one point, Orin goes.
You finally get up to the level of the docks, and you find yourself running past boxes and through like a freezer area that smells a lot like delicious Tex-Mex food. And you come out the back of Nexicalifragilisticexpialidocious into chaos. You see now people almost made entirely out of crystal who are commanding people with very little, if not any crystal, putting them on the front lines, putting them in front of the tardigrades and the city guard, watching them curl up in terror or sorrow when the tardigrades look harshly at them, or some of them falling over, presumably shot dead, trying to get through. The tardigrades, seemingly knowing that you were coming, are trying to create a phalanx between the crystal the crystal congregation people and the docks, but only with partial success. So here's what I want us to do. The way that we do combat in this system is not blow by blow by blow by blow, right? I want to know which of you are taking offense and which are taking defense. And depending on how you roll is going to tell us how your group is by the time you get to the ship, and also how all the patients are by the time you get to the ship, because they are your responsibility at this moment. Who's on offense? Orin, Ari.
I think that Jasper's kind of like a little bit of a mix right now, especially because Orin just upgraded his rifle. And so he's got like Orin and Ari, and he's kind of like doing that sort of, he's being offensive in his defense, if you know what I'm talking about. He's like, like backing him up. I'm gonna let you roll I'm gonna let you roll get involved both for offense and for defense. Got it. To potentially up something, and you can decide whose role you want to add it to. So you go ahead and roll get involved for this one, Jasper. 8.
Okay. If there's a partial, you can bump something up 1. If there's a partial success, you can turn it into a complete success. Or a partial success, you can turn it into a complete success. Or a failure, you can turn into a partial success, right? And bump it up 1 level. Which one, Orin or Ari, are you assisting?
He's seen Ari fight more than he's seen Orin fight, so he's probably going to back up Orin.
Okay. Orin, go ahead and make your roll. Are you shooting for the distance or close up?
What distance are the fully crystallized people?
The fully crystallized people are far in the back. So launch assault.
Yep. You see it just beyond. This is probably one of the few times you've seen Orin just completely pissed off beyond comprehension. The nerves and everything have melted away into just pure, unadulterated, confused rage at this point.
That's my baby boy.
That is, you said plus physique. That's an 11.
All right. All right. And I'm going to say, like, with Jasper's help, it is a tremendous success. You are taking out their leadership. They're starting to get really disorganized. Right? Describe to me, actually, let's have Ari roll too, and then I'm going to have everyone roll, and then we're going to do description. Ari, go ahead and roll your offense. Are you going for short, close up, or are you going for far away?
I think Ari is going to do any of the close up. Let Oren do the big stuff, and like anyone that's coming up on us, I'm gonna try to take out those people.
So roll with metal. Roll with metal.
Okay. That would be a 7.
Okay. So you're able to help get to the ship, which gives the injured among you better chance to survive. But you're more taking out, because you're going close range, you're more taking out the lower ranking people. And you're aware that you have to do that in order to get to the ship, but those are the most innocent among the cult because they are the most new. So I'm going to go ahead and have Riley and Raylan, well, actually, Jasper, Ariana, Oren, describe for me how you get everyone to the ship. What does that look like?
Let's see. So, go ahead, sir.
And remember that the Nekutiti and the tardigrades are there to help you. You can describe what they do as well.
All right, so I guess as far as Oren's concerned, so Jasper was the one leading this, and all of a sudden as they break into this, the transition is almost instantaneous into just pure anger as he just runs past and out in front of everything as there's some chattering in his helmet. He's not exactly sure what they're talking about, but it's all on deaf ears anyway at this point. The tardigrade, that have been holding the lines, I feel like they start to wave back, and then they just start forming almost like a line where they're just handing it instead of walking. So it's super efficient getting people to the ship. As the Nekutiti, the signal going out, have just started to all try to hit the same. They're all clicking together to try to make the walls vibrate to that same harmonic that affected the crystals before, since they know what frequency to go to. And as they start doing that, the tardigrade also start all trying to. And I feel like the tardigrade, as they get panicked or get shot or anything like that, you'll see the tardigrade occasionally hit a disharmony, but overall they all start to pulse together to really help our odds, all of which Oren is completely blind to, as he just draws and jumps over the top of something and is just going straight for the pure crystallized people, as he has lost his tiny little mind.
Jasper, Ari.
Jasper has really advanced technology on his person that he doesn't use quite often, but what he does with his glasses is he actually shoots screens, like these visual screens, out in front of him, and he's shooting his rifle, but the bullets are actually coming out of these screens to start taking out specific targets, as he's telling people, he's directing people, you need to go this way, you need to go this way, you need to go this way, as he's simultaneously, because he can connect with 12 people around him very quickly, and just being this is your target, this is your target, as he's just leading everyone to give Oren the best shot to get what he needs to get done.
Nice. Ari, how about you?
I think I'm just going for anybody that I see that appears to be a threat that's gonna break the lines. I'm trying to just get close quarters with them and just kind of either just disable them somehow, not necessarily trying to kill them, but to just keep them from getting people onto the ship. So
are you brawling or using a weapon?
I'm brawling, but I'm using a weapon if necessary.
Nice. Like everyone else is like all like high tech shit and like
I'm
laser
like
zooming, and you're just
grabbing
like,
people,
boom.
flipping them up over me, like doing all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to use the most non-lethal way to like keep people from getting to us. Also, it's too much of a mess.
Yeah. And did you roll? You haven't rolled yet?
For what?
Sorry, I'm having a mind. I'm having a mind. Did you
I
roll
rolled
yet?
a
You rolled.
7 earlier.
What did you roll?
A 7.
Okay. All right. There are people that you're able to save. There are people that but not a lot. Not a lot. Now, Riley, Ray. In a second, Riley, I'm going to have you roll how you are able to defend the patients. Right? Ray, you have a choice. You can either roll how you're able to defend the patients or how you're able to keep Orin from getting horribly injured.
I'm sorry, does that mean that that's going to happen if I don't pick that? Okay, I hate this.
Just like in any battle situation, you see Orin like rush into their back line and you don't know if anyone else is going to help.
This feels like it's gonna hurt.
Okay, so then this is what's been, like, Ray has been holding the back line. She's got her sword. It's pulsing with energy. It is basically a giant stun baton because she's got the stun on, and she is just knocking people down who get close, just keeping a barrier for safety as everyone is fleeing. And as we kind of make it in the straight shoot, and she can get a little bit more view of what's happening ahead of her, and she sees Orin jump and like disappear into danger. I think she's inebriated. She's had such an emotional day. It has been too much. And she whacks the person in front of her, knocking them to the ground, and rushes forward to go find Orin because she's losing everything, but she's not going to let it actually get gone.
All right. So roll with metal. Oh, wait, sorry. Roll with physique. This is close. I get the two names. Launch Assault feels distant to me. Anyway, what did you roll?
I got a 10.
Oh my gosh. Okay. In a second, I'm going to have you describe how you rescue Orin from serious harm. Riley, what do you do to help defend the patients and get them onto the ship?
Ooh, I wish you had had me go first before you gave Raylan that choice, but that's okay.
You can go too. You can go too.
So
you absolutely can go too.
I'm not going to help my baby boy. He's played plenty of Call of Duty. I have confidence in him. All those hours of gaming are going to come in. So the way that Riley is protecting the injured is Riley doesn't have any combat skills really, but what he has is a custom-made Class 3 jacket that he's very proud of that has jump jets, is armored and shielded. And the reason why Riley was taking the back of the group was because he puffs out his coat and is going to use the jump jets to jump in front of the blasts and the lasers that are firing through, using his body as a shield. So like with a hum, his tech jacket kind of hums to life with this sleek dark fabric kind of glinting under the light as it's like absorbing some of the shrapnel that's fighting. And I will say, if anyone was looking at Riley, this may be the first time Riley's facade of optimism is completely gone. This is, you see his eyes are a little sunken in. He looks absolutely disheartened by what is going on in this fight. Feeling the weight of the responsibility of the riot, weighing on his shoulders, but also the fact that so many of these cultists have lost the one thing that he has always wanted Journey Corps to be about, which is their freedom to make a choice, to go to the stars. So he is throwing himself into every blast he can, hoping his shield holds up just long enough.
Roll brace for impact. So you roll with armor.
All right, that is a 6 and a 2 plus a 3.
All right. You are... Describe to me how friggin' perfection, amazing this looks when people are looking at you.
I will say, can I bargain a severe wound for a +1 or a benefit to getting extra wounded safely out?
Ooh, okay.
Maybe other Raylan. I will take a
Other
severe
Raylan.
injury for this.
All right. So there is a moment when other Raylan, distracted by trying, like one of the patients, one of the tardigrades is like getting tired and starting to lay a patient down, and she picks the patient up and so turns her back and does not see the laser coming toward her head.
So Riley has been kind of grabbing people and using the jump jets for small boosts to like skirt through in front of people, and kind of stopping by one of the injured that he kind of blocks, and it kind of shatters off his shield, sending sparks. He sees that blast going for Raylan, and he sees on his little cufflink that activates the shield, the low energy, that the shield is no longer active. And he jumps forward with the boost from the armor pack, and the laser goes straight through the jacket into him as he like tackles her out of the way.
Where does it hit you?
I think it's got to be somewhere in the torso. Like,
Yeah. And you are, I think, conscious long enough to know that you've been hit, to know that Ray has not been hit, and to feel a burst of pain starting in your abdomen and just flowing into your fingertips and the top of your head and the ends of your toes. And then you are unconscious.
ooh, before I go unconscious, I think the only thing Riley says is, "Stars look so beautiful."
All right.
So,
Ray.
so Jasper has on all of his members like the chip that's in everybody's bodies, but he's constantly monitoring this. He would probably see this happen, or like get a sensor that this is happening.
Yeah, you like a light on your glasses starts to light up, and it's the color that you use for Riley. You know, that's like, there you go. You know that something horrible has happened to Riley, and you know how to trace where it is by like how rapidly the light blinks. It's a little like hot and cold kind of situation.
So Jasper, kind of being in the middle of everyone, covering fire for Orin, he's gonna take a moment, see Orin, he's gonna see Ray running this way, and see Riley go down, and he's gonna say, "Hold on, Riley, I'm coming," and he's just gonna like turn and he's gonna run. He's gonna be giving, like, again, commands to the people around him. You don't usually see Jasper this like confident when he's talking to other people, but everything is very distinct and direct as he runs and turns to his comrade.
Okay. I think you could roll get involved, but you can roll that with interface because that's what you're using.
Can I see this as well and maybe try to help
Yeah.
get defense around him?
You can roll get involved to his get involved.
Okay.
We're stacking. This is like counterspelling a counterspell.
Counterspell.
Get involved. Yes.
So I rolled a 9 on the dice with interface, so is 11.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, what did you say for me to do? Get
He's
involved?
already got a success. Yeah, get
Okay.
involved. Roll with physique.
It's fine. I still did fine. I rolled a 9.
Okay. I'm gonna say, like, with that severe injury, there was a risk that Riley would bleed out before you got to the ship. And Jasper, you would be able to get him to the ship in time for somebody to try to patch him up. But Ariana, because you were helping, you were able to get him to the ship and have somebody patch him up while you get there. When he gets to the ship, he is severely injured, unconscious, but stable. Ray, you see Orin charging toward the crystalline leaders of the cult. And you see that they have him in their sights. What do you do? As they all lift their laser guns right at him.
So Raylan is pushing and running with greater capacity than a doctor should have. And she just charges. She moves people out of her way in this like deft weaving through the crowd to get up to Orin, and then she moves past Orin and puts the sword up to block any incoming shots because the sword has the defensive tag, and continues to move forward to close ranks on those people with the intent to first disarm them and then disarm them.
All right. I'm gonna have you roll with physique.
Okay, that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Orin, I'm gonna have you roll brace for impact. And depending on
Wait.
how you...
Does my weapon give me pluses because of the
I think
tags and
so.
stuff? Okay.
Yep. What are
10.
the tags?
My tags are that it is melee, it is defensive, it is energy, it is stun, and it is penetrating. It's also stylish and telescoping, but I don't think those work here.
For that friggin' gun, yes, you get a +4. I'm not gonna look up what all of those things, like I don't have them memorized. That's a +1 somewhere in there. So yeah, Orin, go ahead and roll brace for impact. You will be injured, but Raylan's action is going to reduce it by 1 level.
Okay. And let's go. Okay. And this is plus armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So plus armor makes it a 10.
All right. You were about to suffer critical. You wouldn't have made it back to the ship before you died.
Can I leverage an injury absorption because I jumped in front of him and I stayed in front of him and reduce his injury by an additional 1 to take it to myself?
I'll take that. Let's have you roll get involved just to let the dice decide.
Okay. 6, 7, 8 plus whatever stat.
Armor.
9 to 11.
This is get involved.
Oh, get involved.
What's your physique?
2.
You're fine. Both of you have major injuries. Orin was about to get that severe injury, just that laser cannon was going to go right across his gut and he's going to bleed out. You take some of the burst of energy.
With the sword, I cover
with the
him,
sword.
and with my body, the rest.
And I will say that the energy from the laser, like because of where you hit it with the sword, you feel it up your arm. And you know that like your internal organs have had some electric interference. But the two of you are able, Orin, actually, let me give you a chance. Is there anything else Orin does before the two of you get yourselves leaning on each other back to that ship?
No, he's just gonna seeing the crystals fall, getting the reality check of getting shot, and the extra reality check of Ray getting shot. I think he's back to reality and just processing, so he's not really able to do much for a second.
I chop him down for you. It is still on stun technically, so they're not dead yet, but I think
they
that
should be.
Well, I didn't turn it off of stun. I think that as I like knock them down and there's that beat of like time, I turn to Orin and I see that he still got injured anyway. And even though there is like char across my coat, there is some blood splattered, it's ripped shreds, I've got like sweat. I put him like one arm over my shoulders, hold under his other arm, and despite the injury, because I have toughness, it doesn't slow me down, and I fall back towards the ship with him, and I keep my one other arm out with the sword to keep people away.
Yeah. Boy, I'd sure like to know who you are someday.
Well, you can't die in order to do that.
You know, you could just tell me.
No.
Oh no, it's getting dark.
No, you have to stay alive to know my name. Let's go.
And as you run past the line that the tardigrades are holding, no one's there to notice the irony that your coat is no longer white.
Oh, I actually was going to say something.
What were you going to say?
Oh, you know, gonna need bleach to return it back to not a doctor's coat.
It's fine.
Yeah,
I've got
okay.
others.
Yeah, you do.
The line of tardigrades advances, and you feel in the air a sense of resolve coming from that line and a sense of permission. Get on the ship and go. And you are able, you don't save every single patient, you save most of them. And now you have to figure out how to put a couple of dozen people somewhere in the struggle bus. You get into that bus. Who pilots the ship out? All right, Jasper. I want to know, do you just fly out, or do you take a wild jump to get the hell away?
Seeing how injured everybody is, he would not risk, like, everyone had to come from somewhere. He's wild jumping for sure.
Yeah. All right. Roll 2d6.
Don't make that face.
It's a 6.
All right.
Oh god.
It was a 1 and a 5.
The ship,
Did you guys ever see Event
Wait,
Horizon?
Did you interface?
huh?
Do
I couldn't hear you.
Would I get interface? Is that what you asked?
Nope. It's just wild jump is when you force your ship to make a wild jump, roll 2d6. That's why it's wild.
That's why it's wild,
right.
BB.
You had sort of in your mind places that the ship could have gone. Where would have been the place that you would want to aim the ship? You don't have to know a specific. It could be a kind of place.
Yeah, do we kind of have like a...
Here's Red Hex Center.
Oh, that would make sense. I was going to say Beetlejuice.
There you go.
Okay, I love that. Your first instinct, because you don't have time to think about this. Your first instinct is to try to get it to college. That's one of the places that you know is safe.
Yeah.
And the ship from the outside, it begins to glow a bright light and be sort of displaced where you can't really see where the ship is, right? And that light disappears once you're out into space because there's really not a light shining off the ship at this point. The ship just, as soon as it gets out of the dock, blinks out. Nobody else sees the wild jump. That's what happens in wild jumps. You disappear. But inside, you feel that wild jump. You feel like all the contents of your stomach are coming up into your throat. You feel like your abdomen, like all of your intestines are like under your feet and your feet are over your head. Like nothing is in the space that it's supposed to be. You feel that feeling of like your breath being pulled out of you that you get in a regular jump. But in this case, like it feels like it is all the way gone. And for enough time that you think you are going to drown in the carbon dioxide in your own lungs. And then the ship stops. And it's almost uncomfortable again, because now your body has reorganized itself into where it's supposed to go, but it doesn't feel like it's supposed to go there. For a few seconds, you don't even know where your body is supposed to be configured. And Jasper, you look out, you look at your map, you look at the space around you, and you have no idea where you are. And with all of that emotional damage, all of that physical damage, all of that geospatial damage, I think we'll end the session here.
I was gonna have
Huzzah.
a reaction.
Oh, so good.
Is it a reaction? Do you want to have the reaction now? You can do it.
A little bit. I was
Go
gonna
for
say,
it.
so Ray gets on the ship with Orin, and then the ship does all that shittery, and it's like terrible feeling. Terrible feeling passes. Ray's one of the first one back on her feet, and she says, "Okay, we need to get the injured organized. Orin, you need to get into the med bay. Riley, I need you to put people in the cargo room. We're not going to fight about it." And as she pulls Orin into the med bay, I think she sees Riley laying already on the meds, what did we call it? Exam table. And she has this another moment where she, like, everything stops for her. And she looks, and her grip on Orin has kind of slacked, and she looks at Riley, absolutely just slaughtered apart. And I imagine Ray is doing patch up on him. And Raylan goes, "Hand me that scalpel." And she just jumps in and starts on as well. Just completely lost everything else.
Two Rays are trying to keep Riley alive at the same time. One with a white coat and one with a red. And I will say one final thing before we end. What no one here sees, what no one at Squaro sees, because they're busy with their own thing, but there is a ship, a small ship, a ship, the kind that's for one or two people. And inside the ship, there is a screen. And the screen is cycling through your faces. And the ship jumps. And who knows if it follows you or if you lost it. All right, that is the end for today. I don't want us to end, but it needs to. All right, oh my gosh, you guys, like, shows. Okay, getting refocused. Hi, I've been Jen. I'm not sure I still am, but I've been Jen. And this has been Uncharted Worlds Bound Together. Let me just really review very quickly who our sponsors are that make it possible for us to do this. Die Hard Dice. We almost died hard, so really nice that we didn't have a hard death. Hero Forge, where you can make your character, give it a white coat, and then turn the white coat red. And World ANVIL, where you can record all of the emotional damage that your world has had. All right, let's go around, and I want you to say a little bit about yourself, at what your projects are, where people can find you if you want people to find you. I will quickly say I'm Jen. I don't do social media because social media sucks. But I am doing a GoFundMe for an organization called LGBTQ Evolutions. I'm on the board. It's a nonprofit to provide counseling and low-cost, hassle-free surgery letters to LGBTQ individuals in California right now, because that's where we're licensed, but also training on how to work with LGBTQ clients, especially trans clients. And that training can be for anyone, anywhere in the country. And we want to provide training at the level of like professional CEUs. So that's the organization. If you're interested, give us a donation. We're raising money to get all of our administrative stuff in order so that we can finally start seeing people. All right, reverse order from when we started.
Me. All right. So I'm Ty, you can catch me anywhere at DM Emporium, doing the DM Emporium podcast. Pretty sure, yep, there's the link tree in the comments. And yeah, I'm doing that and this, and I don't have a brain for this right now. My brain is all stuck in things, but I also can't forget Hyperluminal T-shirts help sponsor my podcast, so I gotta shout them out here. So
check out that podcast. It's really fun. It's really fun.
And that's DME. We'll get you 5% off those T-shirts, and they're all really fun, cool things with awesomeness. And that's all I got. That's all I got. I got nothing else. Brain is just.
Oh goodness. I guess that makes it me. Hi everyone, my name is Graham or Graham Crackers. I had the delight of playing your lovable rapscallion Riley Copperbutton today. Where you can find me on Twitter. I don't post there often because, like Jen, I don't like social media. But you can find me at Graham Crackers with a 1 at the end. But outside of that, you can find me on the Crimson Citadel, where I am one of the storyboard admins for the V Rising roleplay server. So if you like vampires, video games, and I think there's a war going on between pirates, knights, and Vikings that are all vampires. It's getting crazy, so highly recommend checking that out. I don't know what's going on, but it's an absolute delight. But outside of there, you can find me nowhere.
Oh my god. Amazing. Who's next?
It's me.
All right.
I'm always in the middle. This is great. I like my place. I am Brithin. You can find me anywhere at Brithin Oakleaf. If you like amateur dice making with lots of glitter, you can check me out on Instagram. If you like K-pop, you can find me on Twitter and TikTok.
You got to see those dice. You got to see those dice.
They're so shiny. There's so much glitter. My entire garage is just glitter right now. You walk in and whew.
Hi everybody, I play the lovable Ari, obviously. You can find me nowhere. The only place you can find me is here because of these lovely people. And that is pretty much it. So everyone else have a good evening.
Feel lucky that you find Ashley here. As you do.
So exclusive.
Rare commodity. Yeah. Exclusive. I like that better.
I guess that's me. Hi, I'm Evie. I have been playing Raywin, or have I? You can find me on basically any social media at Evie Story. I have just started another stream called Fae Inc. over at the Misadventures League on Twitch. And we play a bunch of Fae people over there working for corporations. And on our very first session, I borrowed a cop car and I got away. There were no consequences for me. So go check out that awesomeness. We play on Tuesdays. And otherwise, yeah, the at Evie Story Kitties on Instagram is for my kitty cats who are both asleep right now, so I can't show them to you, but there you go.
All right. That's everybody, right? I'm not missing anything. Okay. We will see you one more time next Thursday for this series, and then we'll be doing a haunted special with this group on October 17th. So we're gonna get spooky, or at least I hope we're gonna get spooky. We'll see how well I make it spooky. But for this story, one more time. Y'all have been wonderful. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.